In this tutorial, I'm going to discuss the spiral model. But before that, I'm going to show what is the history of the spiral model. The spiral model was defined by Barry Boehm in his 1998 article. This model was not the first model to discuss iterative development, but it was the first model to explain why the iteration matters. This is Barry Boehm, born on 1935, an American software engineer, distinguished professor at the University of Southern California. A spiral model is an evolutionary software process model which is a combination of an iterative nature of prototyping and systematic aspects of traditional waterfall model. And the spiral model can be adapted to apply throughout the life of computer software. In spiral model, we can easily adjust software development with the required changes. And now, you are going to know when to use the spiral model. You can use spiral model if when costs and risk evaluation is important. For medium to high risk projects, users are unsure of their needs, requirements are complex, and the significant changes are expected. In spiral model, there is a four-fold procedure. Number 1. Evaluating the first prototype in terms of its strengths, weaknesses, and risks. Number 2. Defining the requirements of the second prototype. Number 3. Planning and designing the second prototype. And 4. Constructing and testing the second prototype. Now I'm going to show you how to make a spiral model and the 4 phases in spiral model. First is plan. Requirements are gathered during the planning phase. Next is the risk analysis, a process that's undertaken to identify risk and alternative solutions. Next is the customer evaluation. This phase allows the customer to evaluate the output of the project. And lastly, the engineering. In this phase, software is developed, along with testing at the end of the phase. And this is the spiral model. Now I'm going to discuss the advantages and the disadvantages of a spiral model. The advantages of the spiral model. High amount of risk analysis, hence avoidance of risk is enhanced. Good for large and mission critical projects. Strong approval and documentation control. Additional functionality can be added at later date, and software is produced early in the software life cycle. Next is the disadvantages of spiral model. Can be a costly model to use. Risk analysis requires highly specific expertise. Project success is highly dependent on the risk analysis phase. Sometimes doesn't work well for smaller projects. That's all, and thank you for listening and watching this tutorial. God bless.